football, and he wouldn't have looked anywhere else than Alun Wyn Jones.
It looks like Alun Wyn potentially has his arm caught in a hard way, and let's hope he's all right, but you can see what it means for him coming off that field.
So earlier than advertised, the introduction of Courtney Laws. A sad sight though, and we wish Alun Wyn Jones a very speedy recovery.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man.
Alun Wyn Jones has always been widely respected by rugby lovers around the world as a top operator. But this Lions tour has opened my eyes to see that this man is a god-tier legend. I'm so in love, I've spent the last 3 weeks drinking Brains Bitter and had the sudden urge to throw leeks at anyone who dares even throw a hint of shade his way. I realise, sat here with my briefcase and bowler hat, that this might be a tad stereotypical, but we move. From humble beginnings at Bonnymean RFC in Swansea to captain of the British and Irish Lions, Alun Wyn Jones is one of 4 players to go on to international honours from the club. Jones got his big break for Ospreys back in 2005, where he spent his entire career. An undeniable talent, Jones stepped into the Wales jersey just 12 months later, and was rewarded with his first Lions jersey at the very next tour 3 years after that. It's easy to see why some people call him the greatest ever, having won what is now the United Rugby Championship 3 times, and won 5 Six Nations, including 3 Grand Slams, and had it not been for a gutsy performance from the French, it could have easily been 4. Even the Queen has been impressed by the big man from Swansea, awarding him an Officer of the Order of the British Empire, or an OBE to me and you, in her birthday honours list 2020. Despite picking up a tour-ending injury in the early exchanges of the first game of the Lions tour against Japan at Murrayfield, he was offered a glimmer of hope that, with the right rehab, he could recover and rejoin the touring party. This meant that he only took part in 5 of the 9 games, and one of those was for only 7 minutes, so there was a total of 255 minutes played by him. So, across the essentially 4 games, he made 25 runs for 25 metres, which doesn't sound like a lot until you point out that as a result, he made 5 try assists. He missed just 3 of his 42 tackles, giving him a success rate of 93%, with 1 turnover, and conceding just 1 penalty, meaning that he was making a tackle every 6 minutes. If we take into consideration the ball was only in play for an average of 29 minutes per game, that's a lot of tackles. This is his recipe for success, and it's so simple. Work harder than anyone else on the pitch. This of course is easier said than done when fatigue kicks in, but his fitness is of such a level that he never seems to tire. It must be so demoralising for the opposition when they can't break him down, and he just keeps coming again and again and again. In fact, if you ever hear from other players that have played with Alun Wyn Jones, they are often dumbfounded at his work rate. Even at the ripe old age of 35, he is often likened to a 16-year-old. Not only is he relentless on the field of play, he is equally hard-working on the training paddock. It's that age-old adage, train like you play. Wayne Pivac said in an interview during the Autumn Nations Cup, "You hear me say it a lot, but he's getting better with age. Honestly, if you saw him at training, you would think his birth certificate had been altered." Alun Wyn is known for his ferocious passion and desire to win, but it comes with the fine line between legal and illegal play. At the last Six Nations, he was 5th on the leaderboard for most penalties conceded. Having said this, he has a remarkable record of avoiding the bin, with his last yellow card being dished out in 2015 against Bordeaux, and having never picked up a red card, at least to my knowledge. If you wanted to know if he was truly a leader of men, then you need look no further than the short but rousing speech given before the final decisive Lions test in 2013 against Australia.
And the final thing, Faz said there's no tomorrow after today. There is. There's a tomorrow. There's one with this jersey, and it'll remain on you till you finish playing, until you die. From today. And there's a tomorrow without the jersey. We've got 80 minutes to choose which one we want. Let's go.
He leads from the front, displaying courage and ruthless determination, whilst remaining focused on the objective, never allowing things to get ahead of him. It is well known that he dislikes talking publicly, but that doesn't impact his leadership. He lets his actions set his expectations of the team, and his actions speak volumes. He is the first up the ladder and over the top at every battle, and his team are quick to follow. So at 35, our eyes begin to glance at the clock. How long has he got at the highest level? When will a true great of the game become a legend of yesteryear? Having won pretty much all the accolades there are to win in rugby, there are two that have evaded his grasp: the Heineken Cup and the Rugby World Cup. I think it's pretty safe to say from the form book of recent years that Ospreys won't be winning the Heineken Cup in a hurry, although I'd love to be proved wrong. But when we look at the Rugby World Cup, there is a hope for Welsh fans, having made the semi-final in 2011 and 2019, and the quarter-finals in 2015. There is a hope that Wales could be good enough to reach the final and win in 2023. This would no doubt be his last shot at obtaining the most prestigious award World Rugby has to offer, and as he'll be turning 38 during the 2023 Rugby World Cup, he would no doubt retire either immediately after or in the following weeks. A fifth Lions tour would be highly unlikely, as at 39 he would be the oldest player to pull on the jersey by some 2 years. Even if he retired tomorrow, we could look back and say what a career and what a guy. He is certainly the kind of player you want to be behind, rather than in front of.
I remember watching Jinx in '97, so to be involved with him in Wales and to be out here with him is really special, really special. Probably can't put it into words, so I'm not going to try. Again, you probably get me going. I've already had a bit of stick for being overly emotional, and you know, I don't give a fuck if people think I'm over emotional. That's what it means to me, and I apologise for using language, but you know, sometimes it's easier to use the age of a bit of raw language, so I apologise for that.